All right. There we go. I love those intros. Good job, Katrina. All right. Welcome to another Tuesday night principled Chiro broadcast. There it is. It tells me what it's called now. It's not the Chiro call anymore, but brought to you by DE and Band Brothers. Speaking of DE, we just came off a absolutely phenomenal DE weekend. It was packed. The people, the speakers, and the audience were on point, man. It was an incredible energy. A lot of people's lives have been changed and are changing from it still. So it was exciting to be around. If you haven't been there or you weren't there, please make plans. January 21st to 24th is the next DE. And then after that, we go to in April to Sarasota, and then July to Greece. So go ahead and start making plans. But this last DE, man, to everybody who was there and everybody shared, and all the people in the seats too. What a great weekend. It was awesome. It was huge for me. It's kind of wild because Steve Judson's daughter Kylie surprised him and showed up. Then Bree surprised me and Ray and showed up. And then I just found out today that Tim Zook's son surprised them and showed up on Saturday night. So kind of cool. And it was a big weekend because we found out that Bree got accepted to life. So she's finishing up her junior year in college, and she's going to do the early dual enrollment. So we're pretty excited about that and proud of her. So another chiropractor in the family, hopefully. So we're looking forward to that. But tonight we have a great speaker, a great guy, a guy who 6 or 7 years ago was in tons of debt and not doing great, and came to DE and everything shifted, and he is now kicking ass and just bought a new house, a beautiful house, and is loving life, kicking ass in practice and helping tons of people. And he's also just got onto the board of the ICA, which is huge. Him and Eddie Martinez both got on. He's also the vice president of the FCS. He does it all, man. He's a head speaker at DE, and we're just happy to have him. I'm going to cut out and let Dr. Brian Moriarty from Stewart, Florida, take over and run the show, man. We appreciate you, Brian.
Hey, thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate that intro, and I want to thank you for doing these calls for I don't know how many years you've been doing the Tuesday night call, but it seems like it's been forever, and it's a labor of love to put on a call like this. You always have to be present on Tuesday night. You always got to set up speakers. It takes a lot. So thank you, Brian, for your service to DE, to these Tuesday night calls. I sincerely appreciate it, and thank you for the invite tonight. Brian's been a huge influence on me, especially lately. He's helped me a lot. And after my mom passed, he had us up to the Georgia Cup just a couple weeks ago, and Rachel and Brian opened their home to me and Eddie Martinez and Steve Judson while we were up there supporting their golf tournament. And I can tell you they were incredible hosts for us. And that guy is my brother. He is just an incredible guy, and really showed us the time of our lives out there in Rome, Georgia, which, by the way, is like the only city in America that's not in this global pandemic. When we went out on the town, it was like normal life. There was nobody wearing masks. There was nobody distancing. We were playing cornhole without having to sanitize the bag in between shots. It was amazing. So, it's been on my heart a lot about this whole pandemic, and I know you guys probably don't want to hear too much about this, but if if things keep going, the way they are with these masks and this coronavirus and everything, I just want to put it on record now on this call that I am against these stupid, ridiculous masks. And I hope that we can spin ourselves out of this and get back to normal living like Rome, Georgia is doing, where we have people not wearing masks, where we have people not distancing, where we have people hugging and fellowshipping, kind of like at DE. And when we got to DE this weekend, it was a very similar feel. And it's like, these are the only two places on earth where we can be immune from the coronavirus, because these masks seems like they're taking over, guys. And now in our office, so like I'll wear a mask around my neck. I won't exclusively wear it, but if someone is sensitive, we'll pull it up. But now it seems like in my office and a lot of offices, what's happening is patients are coming into the office, and it's a doctor's office in the middle of a pandemic, so they assume they have to wear a mask, even if they don't want to. But they'll assume, okay, it's a doctor's office, it's an inside space, I'm going to wear this mask. So they walk in, and then we see them wearing a mask, regardless of how we feel about it, and we think we better pull up our mask. So now we've got the patient that doesn't want to wear a mask wearing a mask, the chiropractor who doesn't want to wear a mask wearing the mask. And if nobody says anything, that's just going to continue as the way it is every single time. So it's almost like you're at like the OK Corral and it's a duel. Okay, you got a mask on? You got a mask on? Okay, let's not offend anybody. But so what I've started doing is I've started laying it on the line. They get into the room with me and I say, listen, do you want me to wear this? I see you're wearing one, and if you want me to wear this, I'm fine being polite. But 99% of the time, they come back with me and they're like, oh, I don't care. Or the other very popular response is, well, if you take yours off, can I take mine off too? So I think we need to be a little more bold in this day and age. We got Lou Singer down there in Boynton Beach, Florida, who just doesn't wear a mask regardless. And I respect the hell out of that. I don't know if I'm to that point yet, but I think we got to be a little more proactive of not wearing it and not being polite, and get it on the record that chiropractic is the answer. Chiropractic boosts your immune system. Yes, that is a fact, okay? People that get adjusted are less prone to die of all kinds of diseases, coronavirus included, because chiropractic has a huge effect on the immune system, and it boosts it so that it works better, so that we function at our optimum potential. And anybody that has a problem with that, maybe you're in the wrong profession. So this thing it just seems like it's taking hold of people. And it seems like every study that comes out is that, oh, it's not the flu, it's worse than the flu. Now they're finding that the flu is worse than this. So then what are we doing? Like, what are we doing in society right now, guys? Like, why do we have to go along with this narrative? Because we want to not get sued. If there's an outbreak at someone's office, I think it's going to be really hard to trace it back to like, this is the place where everyone got it, because there's so many asymptomatic carriers out there that you're not going to know that. So let's try to get out there and be a little more bold against this thing, and preach the chiropractic message that we are the answer, guys. We can help this pandemic. We can bring people not just through this, but to a greater life. And I think that it will help further our cause, because I was thinking about this the other day. When do we think that people are going to stop wearing masks? When? Never will they stop wearing masks, because there will always be something that comes along. There will always be, like I had a patient come in today and his daughter had a cold and they had never worn a mask and she was wearing a mask today. And I was like, oh, where's she wearing a mask all of a sudden? Oh, she has a cold. And I was like, well, before this pandemic, did she wear a mask? No. Well, then why is she wearing one now? And I was like, take that off. I don't care. Let's get back to, because I feel like this is just, there's going to be people wearing masks forever and ever and ever. There will always be something. So Let's clear out subluxations of the spine. Let's get those nervous systems kicked up a notch, and let's get back to normal living. Because when we're at DE, guys, I mean, that is such a special, sacred place. And coming off this DE, I mean, I remember I got on the plane on Sunday, and I literally couldn't put it into words how indescribable this DE was. I know every DE is great, but there was something different about this DE. There was a major, major shift. Every single speaker brought the thunder this week. And if you were not there, I want you to get on the Tim Langley plan, $109 a month, so that maybe you could hear these recordings and get a glimpse. It's not as good as being there in person, but maybe you can get a glimpse of what we went through. Because I'm telling you, this DE was transformational. People were having such incredible breakthroughs. I was truly humbled by the packed room the entire night. It started out Thursday night. I'm not a big Thursday goer, I'll be honest with you guys, but I'm going to make the effort to get there on Thursday from now on, because Thursday night, Dee Umber started it out and just set the tone and just rocked it. And that room was full right there, from Dee to Bobby Braille, who killed it, and then Steve Judson did the 49 breaths, which I don't know if he's ever done that before, but he killed it. He was really, really good. And then we got into Friday, and Friday I was calling it to lose here. I was saying this is the legend session, because it started out with Dee Umber again, and Curry, and Marilyn. Not that you're old, Marilyn, but you're wonderful. And then it finished with Eddie Cordero, who I thought was unbelievable and really stood out for me. And then we got into Friday afternoon with Dr. Ron Oberstein from Life West, just knocking him down. That was he really was incredible to hear. And then Friday afternoon, there was a first-time speaker named Aaron McCrary, who I didn't really know too much besides like through Band of Brothers calls and stuff. And I really got to hang out with her, and she was incredible. What a personal, beautiful story, Aaron, you gave. And it really touched my heart and a lot of people's hearts that were there. And I'm so proud of you. And hopefully, I think she texted me before a picture of her 3-year-olds they're watching. So if those 3-year-olds are watching, your mom is one incredible lady, and what a story she had to have you guys. I hope she tells you guys that when you're older. And then we got into Friday night, and Tony Ann and Brad Glowacki and Andy Harding just were incredible. And then Saturday we had an incredible announcement from Megan Afshar that I love it when you bring something new to DE. You got to be at DE to hear these things. But Megan's got an incredible announcement, and she put it on Facebook, so I'll tell you. But she is she's pregnant, which was it was funny because I was in the back by Rando, and he takes out his portable phone and was starting to videotape Megan's talk. I've never seen him do that before, and I was like, what the heck is he videoing this for? I was like, Megan's pregnant, and we were like on the edge of our seat back there, and then she let it out, and we were just like, yeah. So that was a pretty cool moment. And then we got into the Parade of Stars, my favorite part of DE, and people were sharing and testifying. And listen, Parade of Stars is well attended. It's been well attended. But if you're for some reason missing Parade of Stars, you need to listen, because first of all, Paul and Marilyn do an incredible job finding the people, having people share their heart, and it just gives me chills going to that. And then we got into Saturday night, and Brian Lieberman kicked it off as he always does in style, and shared about his house, which I got to see firsthand when I was up there, and the incredible journey that thing's been on, from like a pile of rubble to the incredibly beautiful castle that thing is, with a beautiful hot tub on top. And it was great to see. Like, Brian Lieberman is a DE success story, guys. Like from a pile of rubble to that house and other houses and a booming practice there. I got to see his practice and walk through it and see the magic and the pictures on the wall of people. He's got people that have been coming there for like 2 decades. He's only been open for 2 decades. Like, he has people that have been there forever. I mean, what retention is that? And then we got into Steve Judson, and Steve, man, you really friggin' brought it on Saturday night, man. It was a terrific talk. I'm happy he talked about how he teases me, because he really gives me a hard time more than anybody. But then he got into this moment, guys, and the lights were dimmed, and the music was playing, that No Longer Slave song from Bethel Music, that I'm a child of God, and I would sing, but I'm not a great singer. So hopefully you can imagine that song playing, and people just closed their eyes, and it was like an incredible moment. And I was emceeing that night, and I was standing in the back, and when it was happening, for some reason I felt a calling to just start walking. And I just started walking and hugging some people that I wanted to hug as I made my way to the front of the room. And it was just like so much energy was going between people that were there. And that was the moment for me. I mean, that was just so touching. And I remember getting the mic, because I'm emceeing the thing, and I was like, I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what to say, guys. Like, that was such an incredible moment. I just wanted to bottle that thing up and just take that home with me, because it was just so special. Like, everybody was just so into it, and that was it for me, guys. I didn't know where to go from there, but I had to proceed to the student raffle and the Satilli Fund, and that Satilli Fund is always fun to try to get people to give back to DE. And I threw out a number out there. The Satilli Fund, in case you guys don't know what that is we try to donate how many new patients we want from now till the next DE. So I threw out a number there, and I said 500. I want 500 new patients from now to DE. And what you do is you give $1 for every new patient you want to see. So I did $500. And a little known fact here, but my good buddy Daniel too decided to step up even bigger and go 501. That Dan too, man, steps it up and takes the cake for the night. But then old Dr. Eddie Martinez, my FCS buddy, decides to up the ante even more, and he goes 502. So 500, 501, and 502, guys just stepping up out of the woodwork to give back to DE to further Dr. Sid's legacy. It was just incredible and so humbling to see. And then I get approached by students from Life West and from all over, and they're filling out the card. And let's be honest, I mean, some students may come from money, and God bless them, but most students are poor, okay? Most students are not exactly in a point to donate. And those students were stepping up and donating. So it was just so humbling to see, like, those kids who aren't even seeing patients, they're in school, wanted to put themselves down for 20 new patients or 50 new patients or whatever, maybe in the clinic, or some of them weren't even in the clinic. They were just like, I just want to give more to this cause and to say thank you. And it was so humbling to see people from there, just giving back. So it was an incredible DE weekend, guys. I'm so honored that you guys were there. If you weren't there, January's on the schedule, guys. I don't know what you're waiting for, because in these trying times, this is the time to get on board with this movement. And I'm going to be there. Everybody who is there is going to be back, because once you go to a DE like that, there's nothing that's going to keep you out of there. But DE was just incredible, and it was like everybody went to work this time. Everybody was there on time. Thursday night, everybody was there. Friday, they were there the whole time. The room was packed the entire time. People realized that it was time to go to work at this DE, to listen to everybody and to fellowship. I mean, we were up late. I mean, we were hanging out, fellowshipping till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And then 9 o'clock came, and everybody was there. Everybody went to work. This was not a vacation, okay? This was not DE vacation time to just kick back and hear a couple speakers. And this was people going to work because they wanted to get better and change their life for the better. And that's always the challenge with DE for me is getting people to get out there and change their life. How committed are you? What are you going to do differently? Because if you go home and you've got that bottled up thing from Saturday night and you just keep it sealed up and you just do everything the same, man, I don't know why you're going to DE. Seriously, you need to get out there and change things, okay? You need to step up and serve your community in a new and bigger way. You got to find another way to give back, okay? Don't just go home and do the same thing. Find a way to make things different. Start doing the 49 breaths. Start going to a Band of Brothers meeting. If you don't have a Band of Brothers, then start one. Put out flyers on telephone poles and say, here, we're having a meeting. I don't care if it's just me, but I'm going to keep showing up this day and this time until people show up. And that's how these things are formed. Serve your community in a bigger way. Find a way to contribute to this movement. You know, everybody was so kind at DE to come up to me afterward, and they heard my very impassioned talk about my mother, and I couldn't believe how many people came up to me afterward, and they said that I really touched them, and they offered some advice and some help, and it was just so moving to have so many people that just wanted to reach out. And, you know, because it hasn't been easy. And, you know, after it happened, my mom's now passed about 3 weeks now. And you go through waves. But, you know, being with the guys up at the Georgia Cup was comforting. And being at DE this weekend was comforting. It was nice to get up on stage and talk about my mom and almost eulogize her for a minute. To tell everybody that, you know, like, this is how I want her remembered. She was an incredible lady who had such a huge influence on me. I'll never forget her. And to play her Band of Brothers, or not her Parade of Stars video, to kind of immortalize her at DE. She loved going to DE. That was such a highlight for her. She told me after it, I was so happy I spoke at DE. And to have that memory was just so incredible. You know, we had an idea that my mom was passing. When I was up on the stage at the last DE, I told you guys that, you know, I didn't think she was going to make it to this one, and sadly I was right. But, you know, we were running scenarios of how it was going to work, because when my mom was getting toward the end, you know, it was only a matter of time. I mean, she was not really speaking. By the last couple of days, she was just completely out of it. And I would go be by her side. I would go adjust her to make sure she was cleared out. And I would just hold her hand and just pray over her and pray for peace and pray for a peaceful transition. And I asked for God to take her when her quality of life was not what it needed to be. But you know, when it actually happened, it was a Friday morning, and this is what I didn't mention at DE. It was a Friday morning. I was in the office, and I still remember it was about 10:30, and I get the call, and I'd gotten so many other calls from hospice, just kind of updating, and I get the call that she had passed, and it was almost like it didn't even hit me, like I just glanced off, and I just said, "Oh, okay, thank you," and hung up the phone, and just kind of went back to what I was doing. And at that point, shockingly, there was no one in the office. So I said, you know, guys, I told the staff, I told my associate, I said, you know, I got to go. I'd planned on going there to be with her after that. So I went up the street, and she was just 5 minutes away, and, you know, to the same room that I had seen her in, and prayed over her. And, you know, when I walked in, I was stood in the doorway, and I saw her there, and she was just very peaceful. But I stood in the door, and I'd gone through that door hundreds of times visiting her. And this time, I stood in the door, and I was just frozen. And I got choked up, and I remember looking to my wife, who was back a little bit from there, and I looked at her, and I said, honestly, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do in this situation? I was just standing there, and I couldn't move. And Laura took my hand, and we finally went inside. And I had that image just of my mom there, just tattooed on my brain, and I don't know how to get it out of there. It reminds me of when Steve Judson has told me about how he found his mom. And I went in there and I cried my eyes out, and I shed tears and prayed over her. And I told her that I thanked her for everything she's ever done for me. And I know she's in heaven with my dad, and I know she's in a better place. And um, it was just really tough. And then we said, okay, you can call the funeral home person, and we left. And at that point, honestly, I was just so stunned, I didn't know what to do. And then I get a call from my office, and they are busting at the seams because we closed like an hour from when I left. I was like 10:30 when I got the call, and at 11:30 we closed. So I was like, well, he can handle the rest of my. I only had one associate in there that day, and they're like, we are busting at the seams. You've got to come back here. I mean, and it seems like everybody is like complaining. It's like one guy wasn't wearing a mask, and another guy was, and they were getting into it, and you got to get back here. So I did the only thing I knew what to do, and that's to head back to the office. So I head back to the office, and if ever you need to defuse a bomb with a patient, I had the perfect excuse that my mom had just passed away an hour ago, and I am here for you. And that was when the conversation just ended of any complaints. It was just, okay, let's get this done. So I continued adjusting for the rest of that morning there, and saw it was only about 10 people. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a single thing about that. But when you lose your life in service, that was exactly what I needed at that point. And it wasn't that those people needed those adjustments. It was that I needed them at that moment. I needed them to help get me through that. And serving people, serving my patients was the way to do that. And it doesn't matter that I don't remember it. It was all a blur, and that might have been the crappiest adjustment or the best adjustments I've ever given. But I needed my people at that moment, and they delivered. And that's what DE does for you guys. Coming to DE gets you to tap into your soul. Okay, that's where your heart comes from, that you even think about that. Because I could tell you before I came to DE, I would have said, good luck to them, just whatever, rather than go back there. And that helped me so much to get through that. That's why I come to DE, guys. That's why I want you to come to DE. If you're listening to this and you haven't been in a while, please consider going. It changes your life, guys. Every single speaker on that stage has had their life changed in incredible ways. I don't know what you're waiting for, especially in these trying times. But for me, it's taught me how to care for others. It's taught me how to have empathy. It's taught me how to have better relationships with my family, with my friends, and it's my home. I am all in on DE, and that is my family, is my DE brothers and sisters. I will do anything for them. I will go to bat for them, and I will be there when they need me. Because you know what? In these trying times, you all have been there for me. And you've showed up in huge, huge ways. I mean, people just reaching out, and it's just, I can't even put it into words. And DE, has totally changed my life. And if you can see in the back corner here, that little shadow of the moon there, that's the river behind me. This is the house. This house I'm in right now that you guys got to see if you were at DE, this is the house that DE built. This house is built on adjustments because I went to Dynamic Essentials. Because someone reached out, my friend Dean Satilli reached out to me and said, you got to get there. And that was the first step. And the second step was getting to know everybody there and coming back. And the third step was not only coming back, but taking massive action to change things for the better in my life. And if you ever need help, that is where you turn to. Every single person in that room will help you, no questions asked. All you got to do is call. And I will help you, no questions asked. When I got home, I have one of my associates that is leaving, and he's a phenomenal guy, but it is time for him to he's going to start his own practice, which I'm so proud of him for doing up in South Carolina, Dr. Spencer. And he's leaving in December, and I've been looking for an associate. And I put an ad on the DE page probably like a month ago, and honestly, I got nothing back from it. But when I got back from DE today, I got not one, not two, but 3 phone calls from my DE brothers or sisters with people that need associate jobs. 3 in one day. Now, if you're telling me that that's coincidence, okay, if you're telling me that that has nothing to do with me going to DE, then you're crazy. Because the exact thing that I was looking for that I didn't even mention from the stage, but the exact thing that I was looking for and praying for appeared today in 3 great options. And now we're going to get to work and get some people in there where we need it so that we can keep serving the masses in Stuart, Florida. So I want you guys to do something for me. I want you guys to get uncomfortable. I know you get out of DE and you feel great like I'm feeling, and I know a lot of you are just on top of the moon. We were sharing tears, we were crying, but I want you to get out there and get uncomfortable. Okay? I want you to get uncomfortable and make a huge move in your practice. I want you to do something that will shock you, that will stun you, that you can come back to DE next time and be like, look what I just did. Okay? Look what I did that is going to set me up for success in life. And then I want you to get your butt to DE, because this Dynamic Essentials Conference is the conference. There is nothing like this in chiropractic. The shift that has happened in my life, I cannot even put into words. I try to put it into words on stage, how I went from being $500,000 in debt to where I am now. And if you don't think so, I challenge you to come. I want everyone to get out there like those Life West kids and bring 10 more people next time. I want everyone to get out there and be a part of this movement. This is the movement. And I want you to be a part of it so that you can feel just as great as we all did when we left that incredible DE. Please, guys, we need you at DE. I need you. Please get there, guys. It's been an honor to be on tonight, guys. I love and appreciate all of you. And I will see you guys at the next DE. God bless.
Bro, what a great freaking call, brother. You just laid it all on the stage at DE and then just came up with a completely different talk and from the heart. If people are watching and they don't get it, I don't know what will help them. But I love the fact that you said, and take massive action. The story about your mom is just heart-wrenching and awesome at the same time. I'm so glad so many people were there for you and that you were able to serve your way through it. We love and appreciate you. We thank you for everything you do. And you're a great steward of DE, man. I'm proud to be a good friend of yours, brother.
Thank you, Brian. And thank you for all you have done for me, my man. You have helped me in incredible ways, and ways we'll laugh about later, too.
Love and appreciate you, man. Good night, everybody. We will see you next week. Great job, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
All right, bye-bye.